नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बादु फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम व मा ज़ादहुम इल्ला ईमाना व तस्लीमा रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली या रब्बि सल्लि व सल्लिम दाइमन अबदन अला हबीबिका खैरिल खल्क़ि कुल्लिहिम। My respected elders, my young brothers and my friends, unfortunately, since last March till now, we have been hearing news of the deaths of ulama kiram. Just this week, Shaykh al-Hadith Maulana Muslihuddin, Shaykh al-Hadith of Darul Dewsbury, has passed away. The departure of these great ulamas is a great loss for the ummah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevate the ranks of Shaykh al-Hadith Maulana Muslihuddin, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept his services, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant patience to his whole family, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replace him with someone in Darul Dewsbury. My respected young brothers, the undergoing chapter is chapter of Iman. As I mentioned before, Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi, in order to prove that Iman increases, he quotes 8 verses from the Quran. And I have managed to explain the 7 verses. And today, inshallah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills, I will explain the 8th verse from Surah Al-Ahzab. The Battle of Ahzab, it's the plural of Hizb, which means, Ahzab means part, group. 20 Jewish from the tribe of Banu Nazir and Abu Wa'il came to Makkah, and they met the chiefs of Makkah, and they asked the chiefs of Makkah to join all of us. We want to gather all the disbelievers, meaning the Jewish and all the disbelievers against Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Muslims, and we would like to invade Madinah al-Munawwarah, and we want to finish off all the Muslims. Now, this was the proposal put forward by Jewish, 20 men who came from Medina. When the chiefs of Makkah, when they heard this, they were a bit surprised. They thought Muslims have taken idol worship to be kufr, disbelief. Now, these 20 men are Jewish, they are the people of book. So their beliefs should be similar to the Muslims. So how can we unite with the Jewish who are the people of book? They will be also taking idol worship as disbelief, kufr. So they asked them, they said, the chiefs asked these 20 men, they said, we would like to ask you one question. And that is, tell us, who is better? Us or Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Muslims? Now listen to this response from these 20 men, what they said. They said, you, meaning you mushrikeen, you disbelievers, are better than Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, than his religion. You know, their response was contrary to their knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even says in the Quran, يَعْرِفُونَهُ كَمَا يَعْرِفُونَ أَبْنَاءَهُم. They recognize Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as they recognize their own children. From the depth of their hearts, they knew the Jewish. They knew the religion, Islam is the true religion. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the true messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now here, they are saying to the mushrikeens, no, the religion of your religion is better than the religion of Islam. Now, the mushrikeens, the chiefs, they were now satisfied. They said, okay, that's fine then. Our 50 men and you 20 will go into Haram and cling to the wall of Ka'batullah and make a pledge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you will finish off the Muslims. These 20 men who came from Medina and 50 chiefs of Makkah, they all together came to Haram and they clung to the walls of Ka'batullah and they made a pledge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will fight against Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and we will finish the Muslims. Now look at the forbearance of Allah, how forbearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. You know, they are standing in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are clinging to the walls of Ka'batullah, which is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and making a pledge with Allah that they will fight his Rasul. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, he is such, he could have made him sunk into the earth there and then. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Allah. You know, he gives time. You know, he doesn't instantly seize, you know, the criminals. And here they are making a pledge that we will fight Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But anyhow, when this news came to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam through revelation, that all the clans, all the groups have got together to invade Medina. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam received this news, when he found out, the first word came on his tongue was Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. And I mentioned last week when the Sahaba Kiram in one of the battles, when they were told in Hamra Asad, when they were told that look, you know, these the people have gathered, you know, so fear them and don't go against them. And they said, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them with 3 ni'mas, with 3 blessings I mentioned last week. So here Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he received this news that all the groups have got together and they want to invade Medina al-Munawwara, so he said, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gathered the Sahaba Kiram and he consulted them. Now here, there was no need for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to consult Sahaba Kiram because he was Sahib Wahi, man of revelation. You know, revelation came to him. He had no need to, you know, take any mashwara from anyone. But here we see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taking a mashwara from Sahaba Kiram. And the ulama and the mufassirin and the muhaddithin, they say the reason he took the mashwara Although, there was no need for him to take a mashwara because, directly he was receiving the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But here Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam consulting Sahaba Ikram, he wanted to establish a sunnah of taking mashwara from one another. So for Ummah, for me and you, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wanted to establish this sunnah of taking mashwara. Whenever you want to do something, take a mashwara from someone. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam took a mashwara from Sahaba Ikram, and all the Sahabas, they agreed. And Hazrat Salman al-Farsi radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he gave his opinion. He said, because Hazrat Salman al-Farsi, he wasn't Arab. He was from Iran. He was Persian. And he said, O Prophet of Allah, the Persian kings, what they do in order to block the attack of their enemies, they dig trenches. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam accepted, this opinion of Salman al-Farsi radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and agreed, that we should dig trenches. And a trench was dug in Madinatul Munawwara in order to block the kuffars, the non-believers, the disbelievers, all the clans that attacked of Medina. So Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he accepted. He said, that's fine, we will do this. And he appointed, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam appointed amongst the Ansar and Muhajirin, he made a group of 10 Sahabas. And 10 Sahaba, they were appointed to dig 40 yards of trench. Now, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, well, the Ansar, he separated the Ansar from the Muhajirin, and he made groups. Now, the Ansar, they made a group of 10, and the Muhajirin made groups of 10. And now Hazrat Salman al-Farsi was left because he was neither from Ansar nor he was from Muhajirin. He wasn't Arab, he was foreigner. Now, the Ansar wanted to join Salman al-Farsi with them, and the Muhajirin wanted to join him with them. Now, there was a chance that there could be a big dispute amongst these two groups. Rasulullah intervened, and he said, Salman minna ahlul bayt. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, well, Salman is part of our family. Salman is part of our family. Now, in this day and age, nobody wants to join the foreigners, with him. But here we see Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying Salman is part of our family. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he himself participated in digging the trench. Now, while they were digging the trench, a very well-known event took place. And our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in this battle, while he was digging, and Hazrat Jabir bin Abdullah radiallahu ta'ala anhu saw Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he saw the effect of hunger on his face. And, he thought to himself, he said to himself, how can I bear seeing Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in this state? He is hungry, and our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is digging the trench. And then he goes home, and he said to his wife, he said, is there anything at home to eat? Is there any food? So she said, I have 1 sa of barley grain. 1 sa is a measure, meaning in terms of today's weight, 1 sa is 3.5 kilograms. So she said, I have at home 3.5 kilograms of barley grains. I will grind them, make flour. And there was a baby goat at home. Hazrat Salman, Hazrat Jabir radiallahu ta'ala, he slaughtered it. And then the food was prepared. Now he was ready to leave the home to go and inform Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to come and have the food. While he was leaving, his wife said to him, listen, when you go, because around Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam there's a crowd of Sahaba Ikram. Now please do not put me into shame and disgrace. That if you go there and if you invite in front of everyone, maybe all of them will come, and the food is just for 1 or 2 people. So secretly go and tell Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you are invited to our house. So Hazrat Jabir radiallahu ta'ala, he went and he clearly mentioned Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the Prophet of Allah. Look, at home I have just slaughtered a baby goat, and my wife, she has baked some bread and I invite you to my house. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he publicly announced, come all of you to the house of Jabir, he is inviting us. Now Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu, before he left his home, his wife told him strictly that remember, don't put me into shame by calling all of them because the food is not enough for everyone, it's just for 2-3 people. And here Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, all of you come, let's go to Jabir's house. Now here Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was a bit worried, what's going to happen now? When I go home, I will be told off by my wife. She will tell me off, what have you done? So he came home running and he told his wife, look, I went and I secretly told Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I'm inviting only you, no one else, because the food is not enough for everyone. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam publicly made an announcement. He said, all of you come to Jabir's house. But end of the day, the wife of Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anha, she was a sahabiya. She was a sahabiya, a very intelligent woman. She said, did you tell everything, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Yes, I said, I told Prophet everything. He says, then there is no need to worry now. We don't need to worry about anything now. If Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was told everything and then despite having been told everything, then still he called everyone, then we don't need to worry about anything. Let Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam come. Let him deal with it. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came and he took the matter in his own hand. He said, I will distribute the food myself. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Jabir ta'ala anhu mentions that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he himself distributed the food so that everyone can eat to their fill. And all the Sahaba, in this battle of Ahzan, the Sahaba Ikram, in number there were 3,000. In number there were 3,000. And the other groups, the non-believers, all the groups, there were, one narration is there were 12,000. And the other narration is there were 15,000. 15,000 against 3,000. So they all came, and Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu mentions all the Sahaba Ikram, they ate. He said, by Allah, there was no decrease in the pot in which there was the meat, and there was there was in the food, there was increase in the food. There was increase in the food we see. He said, all the Sahaba Ikram, they ate those, 3,000 Sahaba Ikram ate the food. A baby goat was slaughtered, and the bread made from how much? Just 3 kg flour. And it was enough for 3,000 Sahaba Ikram. And Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he says, they all ate, the food was still there, the meat was still there. We ate, and the remaining we gave it to our neighbors. This was the miracle of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Food of 2-3 people became sufficient for 3,000 people. So in this battle, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, when he came to Medina, in the first year when Rasulullah came to Medina, the year he came, next year came the battle of Badr took place. Then the third year came after Hijrah, the battle of Uhud took place. Then the fourth year came after Hijrah, then this battle took place, battle of Ahzan. Meaning, when Rasulullah came to Medina, the non-believers did not let him live in Medina with peace. Attacks over attacks. Badr took place, Uhud took place, then this took place. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes, the scenario of this battle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِذَّاغَتِ الْأَبْصَارُ وَبَلَغَتِ الْقُلُوبُ الْحَنَاجِرُ وَتَظُنُّونَ بِاللَّهِ الظُّنُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the eyes were distracted and the hearts came to the throat. And all you group of Sahaba, you were thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all sorts of thoughts. This happens. When a person falls into difficulties and when a person is in a problem, many thoughts come in the mind. what's going to happen? What's going to happen now? So Sahab, Allah says that, you were thinking about Allah, how Allah is going to treat you now. How the help of Allah is going to come. وَزُلْزِلُوا, Allah says, هُنَالِكَ ابْتُلِيَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Allah is saying, on that occasion, the Muslims were put to trial. وَزُلْزِلُوا زِلْزَالًا شَدِيدًا. And Allah is saying they were shaken. They were shaken in this battle. But eventually what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the wind. And this wind, it uprooted their tents and everything they had. And eventually Abu Sufyan and all the chiefs, they decided that we should go back. They ran away. When they were leaving, when they were running, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Al-an naghzuhum wa la yaghzunana wa nasiru ilayhim. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, now they will never attack us, but we will attack them. And we will take over them now. They will never attack us now. And this would happen then. After this battle, they never even thought of attacking Muslims. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَلَمَّا رَأَى الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الْأَحْزَابَ. When Sahaba Ikram discovered, when they saw that they are coming, they say, قَالُوا هَذَا مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. This is what Allah and His Messenger promised us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger spoke the truth. And eventually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا زَادَهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانٌ وَتَسْلِيمًا. This event increased them in Iman and in obedience. So this is what Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi tried to explain and prove that Iman, it increases as the Iman of Sahaba Ikram increased when the clans came to invade Medina al-Munawwara, and Sahaba Ikram, they were there to defend Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were there to defend the Islam, and eventually the non-believers, all the clans who got together to invade the Muslims, to finish the Muslims, they were the one at the end who ran away and left the battlefield. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, from now on, they were never able to attack the Muslims. We will attack them. And then what happened after that? The conquest of Makkah took place. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, along with 10,000 Sahaba Ikram, went to Makkah al-Mukarramah, and the Makkah was, conquered. And alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, we will attack them. They will never attack us. This would happen. And the Sahaba Ikram, as I said before, Sahaba Ikram were the personalities who sacrificed their lives for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for this deen. And because of Sahaba Ikram, I and you are sitting in the masjid. And because of Sahaba Ikram and their sacrifices, the deen, the Islam spread. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and you tawfiq that we follow the footsteps of Sahaba Ikram and we love them. And on the day of judgment, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise us with the Sahaba Ikram. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. ربي اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. صلى الله على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.